Hi guys! So today I'm going to talk about something that I'm not quite sure what it really is, and I'm not quite sure how to really describe or define it. I just know that it's something that's been on my mind for a while now, and I kind of want to address it. I feel like this is something I kind of need to talk about and also know what other people think and what other people have been through. So if you don't know me, maybe something I should probably mention is that I am asexual, or at least I fall somewhere on the asexual spectrum. I'm not gonna say I never feel sexual attraction for people, and I'm not gonna say I sometimes feel sexual attraction, because I feel like none of those adverbs really describe accurately my situation and the way I perceive sexuality and sexual attraction and whatnot. So I guess you could say I'm not someone who is super into relationships. Like, I'm a very romantic person, actually, I think, when you think about it. When it comes to books and songs and movies and all that kind of stuff, I am really into romantic stuff. But when it comes to real life, I actually don't see... I guess I'm just also a really picky person, so I'm not super into relationships, because to me they just come in real life with a lot of concessions, a lot of lowering of your standards, a lot of lies, a lot of disillusion, and people try to convince themselves that they're living something good when in fact they're actually living something that, in my opinion, and most of the time, quite pointless. I've never really met anyone whose relationship made me feel like I wanted to be in a relationship. It happened a few times, but it was really rare. I've rarely met people who made me feel like I was ready and willing to sacrifice some of my time, energy for them, and to kind of organize my life differently for them. It's because honestly, apart from a few people, I've never met anyone that made me feel that way. I guess what I really want to say is that for me, I think relationships could be awesome, but I just don't recognize myself, and I have no interest in what most people consider relationships, which are just patterns that they repeat and that are basically just what society portrays as a relationship. I don't feel like people create relationships that resemble them and their partner, and I feel like it should be the case. I feel like your relationship should be created every single minute that you're spending with your significant other or others, because everyone's really different, everyone's really unique, and our relationship should be the same. And while they are all, yes, to a certain level, very unique, they're very much all the same too. I've always been a bit like, looking at others' relationships, my friends even, I look at their relationships and I'm like, that's not what makes my heart, beat faster, doesn't make me feel happy, doesn't make me feel like I want to live that. Maybe reading too much has had an impact on me. Maybe I'm expecting too much from life, but at the same time, I really genuinely feel like my heart and my soul can really carry a lot of love. I can really feel amazing things, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. And if those people have written those beautiful texts, those beautiful songs, it must be that they have a depth of soul and heart or whatever that enables them to feel these feelings in real life. People have frequently told me in the past, it's because you don't live in the real world, it's because you're too idealistic, it's because you've read too much. But those things come from somewhere, they just don't fall from the sky or whatever. They come from human beings. I feel like creation is very similar to love in a way, in the sense that it is something that's here. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you cannot touch it, but it's here in between all of us, in between everything, and sometimes it just sort of shines through you and you write, or you paint, or you create a song, or you do whatever, and that's something that's not you, that goes through you, that becomes something else, but you're also part of it. And I feel like love is very much the same thing. It's something that's not in you, that comes through you, creates something else, and is also linked to someone else. For me, it's about balance and just accepting the energy, receiving it, and staying very humble when it comes to relationship. And I feel like so many people just put themselves first in relationships, and it's all about themselves and their desires and what they want to do, what they think they can do, what they think they cannot do, what is rational, what is not rational. When it's not like that, I feel like feelings are a gift that you should embrace every time you're given the possibility or the chance to feel them. And I see love and feelings and relationships in most people's minds and lives being the object of so many circumstances. You know, people sort of look at relationships or feelings and be like, oh, that's possible, that's not possible, that's too inconvenient, that's too far away, that's too difficult. What is that? What is that? What's the depth of your love? What's the depth of your feelings if a few things are impossible? Like for me, if I have these feelings, they're here. I'm always sort of disappointed actually by people in the sense that they never really give as much as I would be ready to give. And I think maybe all those things are, you know, the reason why I've been single for 6 years now. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, I guess, because I turned 24 recently. I've been single for 6 years, and the relationship that I had prior to that was a teenager relationship, you know, so it was not even a real relationship. It wasn't even love, you know. I have loved people before. I've loved people twice, and those loves were just wonderful. They were sometimes a bit painful, but you know, they were not like, and when I say wonderful and intense, I don't mean to say I was the passion, you know, like it was crazy, we fought and we reconciled and we loved each other so much. It was full of arguments and fights. It was like war. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. It was intense in the sense that it just sort of shed a light on my life that I never felt or saw before. It just transformed everything. It made me want to become a better person. It just sort of opened my heart and expand all of my being into something huge, like huge, as big as the universe it felt at times. And that was pretty amazing. And those two people I still love very much, and I have no harsh feelings toward them, and we're still in touch and everything's beautiful, but we never really were in a relationship. We never were in a relationship. So sometimes I'm like, I'm 24, I've been single for 6 years, I've never really been in a relationship with someone I loved. I don't know what a real relationship is like, what it feels like to be in a real relationship, because I've never experienced it, since my first and only relationship was just honestly not something to take in consideration. So it's just so strange sometimes, because I know that's not society's expectations for me, and I know that in conversations with whether, you know, people are always going to be surprised that I'm 24 and I've been single for 6 years or forever. I mean, I've only kissed one person, and that's just so rare and so bizarre for so many people. And sometimes in the past I used to feel a bit ashamed of that. I used to think, oh my god, I don't want to talk about that, I don't want to say that, I don't want to admit that. But what is there to be ashamed of? You know, everyone's to each their own, that's for sure. But for me, I'm so happy that I didn't kiss or have sex with people I didn't care about. I'm so happy that I'm not sharing my life, my feelings, my insides, my house, my thoughts, everything with people that I don't truly care about, and with people that don't even care about me, even though that one I probably did a little bit. You know, I think we live in an era where everything needs to be really quick. Everything needs to be done in the instant. Everything needs to be available immediately. Everything needs to be easy, and just find life so disappointing when it comes to romance. I don't mean to say that like, you know, I'm a girl in her early 20s and I'm just disappointed of men. I don't mean it like that. I mean, I've seriously looked at all the relationships I've encountered in my life. Young people, old people, long-term couples, new couples. I've rarely felt like that was worth anything, worth my time, worth my energy, worth myself. It's very hard sometimes to, you know, because it does not mean that I don't find some people attractive in all different sort of ways. It doesn't mean that I haven't had feelings for other people. It does not mean that I haven't had the desire to perhaps be in something that could resemble a relationship with a few people. It never worked. And you know, when you take all that in consideration, the fact that I've been single for so long, that I haven't had any experience with anyone, that I just look at relationships and think, what is it even why? And you know, when I see that I have had feelings for people that never had the same amount of feelings, or that never valued me enough to just face a few difficulties, sometimes it makes it really not nice to think about. And I guess, you know, because I'm getting older, I'm thinking, was I even imagining that when I was 18, 17, 16? Of course it's not bad, it's just strange. And I guess I find it strange naturally, but I also find it strange because of society's pressure on me to just find someone, preferably a guy. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I guess it's like a raw emotion video. Let me know, guys, what your thoughts on that are. If you have a great relationship, please let me know, make me dream. Thank you for watching this very random video, guys, and I talk to you soon. Bye.